that their skills are also at the level you want. So those are things you work with. So I find it more demanding. It's very fulfilling if you really get right match here, right match there, give recommendations. I have done that, and then they take all the recommendations, and then you go there after 5 years, find your recommendations have been implemented, and it is wow, but it is one, if I look at the projects I've done, maybe 2 projects have been like that, maybe 3 that I've gone back after years, and I'm just like, whoa, it actually worked. They really actually took me seriously. But coaching is about personal lives. And people come to you because they want help. And in coaching, you use a framework which has been proven over and over again that it works. So most of the time, 98%, I can say it's 98% successful. It's completely different.
Do you believe it's such difference because like in business, you just need to control more of if your advices are being implemented, and in personal life, it's more about like trusting.
Yes.
That people trust you.
Yes. But the kind of consultancy I do is with development. It's really about different contexts. And also trust comes in very high. Trust also plays a big role. It's just not not just your instruments, but you're using your tools.
So what is about this personal consultancy? Is that about more about like career, or is that like more personal consultancy about the lifestyle?
It's about, let's say, you get an assignment to go and do an evaluation of a project. Let's say there was a project which was funded to implement something. Then you get a consultancy to go and evaluate whether they have implemented the goals they set to do. That kind of consultancy is the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I describe consultancy as prescriptive and coaching as descriptive. It kind of like goes to what Yulia just said. It's a question of okay, well, consultancy, this is a prescription of what is,
yes,
or what should be in terms of what is.
What should be, yes.
Yeah, what should be in terms of what is, and coaching, of course, is descriptive. This is what should be,
yes,
because this is where you are coming from.
Yes,
in some ways, yeah. And so, in writing Invisible No More,
yes.
How did the experiences that you've had during the 5 years you said you had depression, how did that translate into your writings?
Yes. So Invisible No More, I tell shortly about my story of how I found myself in depression. And then I start with my process of getting out of the depression. So like in the first chapter, I write about how I came out of denial, and I talk to people how to come out of denial. Like the first chapter is about reality check. So I tell you my story about how I was in depression, and then this is really a workbook, like how do you get reality check? So chapter 1 is about reality check. And then I've written about the process I went to have a reality check and to get it, that my life was unmanageable and I needed to get some change. So in that sense, my life really, I have poured my life in this book because it is the process that I went through. And I believe that process is if anyone reads that book, if you go through that process, you will also get the same results. That's why I call it a workbook for
Right.
anybody who wants any change actually in their life. You don't need to be depressed. Like when I went in, I just thought, well, actually when I went to get for help is because I had problems in my marriage. My marriage was falling apart. And it's only until we went for this help that I realized, whoa, I've been depressed for 5 years.
Right,
Yes.
right.
So all the different chapters are about the different processes that you go through to get out of depression, addiction, anything you want to change in your life. But it's informed by my process that I went through.
Yeah, before we came on, we're discussing, Yulia, we're discussing about addiction and how addiction in itself, because we watched some of your videos, you were mentioning, well, quite a whole lot of content you have on your website. And I will encourage everyone to check out on the website. We are going to plug the website and how you can actually get really good videos and good teachings on all of the subjects that have to deal with the book itself. But the question I have, right, for depression is, or for addiction is, do you think that the foundation of depression is addiction? Do you think that there is a foundational element of that?
I don't know I can really say depression. We have to be very careful not to minimize the fact that there are some people who are depressed because they have chemical imbalance. So let's put that aside, you know,
Right.
Really people who get depressed because they have chemical imbalance. I think for me, if you have any addiction, it is an indication of something that is not going on in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be depression, but it is what I call pain. You have some pain somewhere.